Hi, I'm Bernadette McKeever, and I am a commercial freelance photographer. I've been in the business for about 20 years, and today we are going to talk about the creation process, and I'm also going to share some stories behind my images. Let's do it. I don't know if there's any one experience I had where it felt like this is for me and this is what I want to do. It just kind of happened. And I've been here in Long Beach my whole life. And I remember in high school, I became aware that my dad always had a camera. And he was always taking pictures of us, and he was always showing us what he shot and what he developed. So I'm pretty sure that's how I became interested in photography. I remember when I was in college, I was at Long Beach City College, I got my first gig, and it was a family friend who approached me and said, hey, we need Christmas photos for our Christmas card. So I was probably 18 or 19. And we went down to the beach in Long Beach, down near the peninsula, and I didn't know what I was doing. And we took an hour, and turned out that they were pretty good. And that just led to other people and families and small events here and there around Christmas and around the holidays. And I recognized that I might as well just have my own business and do this on my own. It just kind of happened naturally. No one hired me. I didn't go out looking for a full-time job. I just started photographing and shooting and getting paid for it. So I started this business naturally. And at the time, there was no Instagram. You know, there was no social media. So it was all FaceTime and talking with people and handing out business cards and promo cards and having a website and meeting people at events I would photograph and just making a connection. I guess you could say word of mouth. That's been my marketing tool, is just doing good work and people passing my name around, and you know, all of a sudden I'm 20 years into this and I'm still making a living. It still just happens. I think in general, women become wedding photographers and family photographers. They shoot babies, because naturally women are nurturers. So when I started off shooting professionally, it was those genres of babies and families and senior portraits. But I think I was doing it because it just came my way, and it was a natural place to make money. But I quickly realized that it wasn't enough. I wanted to be in situations that were more exciting for me, and I'm naturally comfortable around machines and people working and it being loud and a bit chaotic, because that's how I was raised. Being around construction and being around people using their hands and the port, that's all exciting and feels like a natural place for me to be and to capture. So LBCT is an amazing project. They're redeveloping their entire terminal, and it's a process that has been going on for a decade. And I've been fortunate enough to document the progress of the new establishment and the new Middle Harbor. Working in the terminals, I would say, is always exciting. The subject matter is my favorite of anything I shoot for the port. You're working with men and women who are actively in dangerous places. It's a constant moving place with tons of moving parts. And I'm fascinated with the people that do the work. I love being in the middle of all of it. Safety is always a big part of the process. You can't get too swept up into the scene or into your work because you have to be aware that you're kind of alone and you are in dangerous places. So it's this crazy balance of you want to be invested and you want to engage, but you always have to be aware of where you are, where I'm stepping, what's above me, what's beside me. It's this constant back and forth. So before we go out in the terminals, we're given an assignment. It's usually pretty loose, and then it's up to us to create the batch of work. For me, that is all about creating the story from start to finish. So if a ship is arriving, the story is get an aerial of the ship coming into the port. And then you get out of the helicopter and you come down to the ground and you walk through the terminal and you get the ship parked at berth. And you watch the men and women, get it ready. And from there you decide, okay, I want to get on the ship now. I want the perspective of the people working on the ship. So you get off the terminal and you board the ship. And then you finalize it with a few beauty shots. I like to say that my toolbox is pretty minimal. It's simple. It's 2 bodies. I have 5 lenses total. I have, some on-camera strobes and equipment that keeps it comfortable on my body, a harness, a bag, lots of batteries, and that's it. I think what it comes down to is using what you have, building up a great toolbox with all the right lenses, essentially, and you're good to go. Why don't I share some stories about some of the industrial photography that I've shot working for the port. So I remember one of my first assignments was photographing some construction that was going on in the port. And it was a gloomy day. And so as I started shooting, I started recognizing that, it wasn't the greatest time of day, but I was still able to create some pretty interesting images by shooting into the light, shooting into the sun, backlighting these men that were constructing this massive building. So this image of these steel workers, these iron workers on top of the structure is completely backlit. And it may look like a black and white photo, but this is actually what happens when you turn your camera directly into the sun. So this next image I captured from a terminal, and I was actually on the dock shooting toward the ship. And the assignment was to capture this brand new ship coming into the port with a beautiful new paint job, beautiful blue colors. And what I found was this man working on the vessel kept popping in and out of the window. And I couldn't tell what he was doing. At first I thought he was just kind of playing with me, like he was bored. And no, it turns out he was line siding the arrival. So he's making sure everything lines up, but he never went away. So I just kept photographing him. And eventually he caught on to me, and then he started engaging with me. It was almost like this game of peekaboo, where he'd come in and then he'd like do this and look outside. It was great. It was great. So I got some moments of him where he kind of leaned out this porthole and was staring right at me. And it was just one of those great moments. The color, the light, his personality. And I remember standing on the dock laughing, like, this is a great experience. Like, how amazing is my job? When I'm not working at the port, when I'm not in the city, I spend a lot of time outdoors. This van will soon be transformed into a space that I can be comfortable living on the weekends. And all of that is because I love to be outside and I love to adventure. And I love to climb and hike and camp, and those are all just natural things that are part of my personal life. So eventually I pointed a camera in that area and I started capturing lifestyle images of the outdoors. My friends climbing, my friends riding bikes, backpacking, hiking. I just brought my camera on trips. And that led to paying gigs in lifestyle photography. And aside from the lifestyle photography, I shoot for other industries. I shoot a lot in education, colleges in Southern California, Cal State Long Beach City College, Pierce College. For a lifestyle shoot, like the cyclist profile we shot, I worked with Jen, who's a close friend, but also she's not a model, she's not an actress, she's a cyclist. That part of the story is what interests me in photographing her. So when she arrives, we pick out outfits, we talk about a shot list. I give her an idea of what I see developing in the next hour and a half. That makes her feel comfortable, that gets her to become part of the process, makes it feel authentic and real. That way we can create some pretty powerful images. And then we hit the ground running. I get her on the bike and we get her riding in the environment. I run around, I get in the bushes, I get on the ground, and we try to capture the whole story from start to finish of what it's like to be a cyclist. It's a lot of coordinating, it's a lot of directing. There's a lot of pre-production that goes into it. And all of that in the end makes the shoot go pretty seamless when you prepare, when you cover all your directing basics. And your subject's happy, she feels like she's part of something, and you get a pretty great product in the end. So my advice for people who are new to photography or are interested in this as a profession is to find a niche that's authentic to you. Don't be influenced by too much Instagram feed, and make sure that you cultivate the passion based on something that is real for you and that feels natural. And just because you see it on Instagram over and over and over again doesn't mean it's right fit for you. If you don't feel a passion and a connection to the work you shoot, it won't last. The passion is what drives the creativity, and in order to endure the business side of life and some of the harsh realities of having your business, that takes dedication to what you're photographing, and that takes a passion for the subject material. So I'm going to take you through my editing process, and we are going to first look at the shoot with Jen, the cyclist. We are here in Lightroom. That's the software I use for editing. And I'm scrolling through the entire image library. And as you can see, there's a lot in here. So what I've done already, just to speed up the process, is I've already done my selections. You can notice that some of these have a white flag. Some of them even have some color designation, yellow and red. So my first step was to flag the keepers, or the first batch, and I've done that by giving it a flag. So let's break it down into that category. Still pretty large. We're at 115 photos out of 514. And then I broke it down even further and grabbed some more of my favorites. And I've used the blue label to do that. So let's click on the blue label, keep narrowing it down. And we are down to 22 photos now. So from here, I went through and selected images that told the story pretty well. We have images of Jen riding, we have some portraits, we have some detailed shots that are a little tighter, shows the bike, her on the bike, and then we have some establishing shots. For instance, this one where it shows us in our location at the beach. So I decided to pick 4 or 5 images from this, and we're gonna look at those next. I believe I labeled them with red. I did, so let's get rid of the blue label. All right, so here's our final 5 images. The next thing I'm gonna do is take you through the editing process of 1 or 2 of these. So why don't we start with this image of Jen riding. As you can see, most of the work I'm doing, I'm still in the library module, but for anything detailed in terms of editing, I'm gonna switch over to the develop module. I will say though, I've already done a few editing fixes and changes in the library mode. For instance, just basic temperature change. I wanted them to be a little bit warmer. I have changed the exposure slightly, and I'll show you those details when we move on to develop. And I also use the library module to essentially do all the basics, which is great, and I can batch everything. So why don't we move on to the develop stage? So let's go back and look at this image of Jen, and I'm going to show you the before image before my editing, before I did any editing to it. So you can tell it's overexposed slightly, and we've lost some detail. The contrast is lacking. So what I did was adjusted exposure. Now we're over here on the right side of the panel. I underexposed it by 0.8. I took my highlights down. I added a little bit of clarity, 14 points. I added 14 points of vibrance and 13 of saturation. Let me toggle back to it after, sorry. Sharpening is at 30. We can probably even bring that down a little bit. I don't do much with sharpening and noise, if I can get away with it. Noise is at 12. I also removed the chromatic aberration. That's pretty standard for me. And what else we got down here? So post-crop vignetting is a style adjustment, and I enjoy it because it brings the attention to the middle of the frame and lets us sort of come into the middle, see our subject. So I'm a fan of that occasionally. I don't put it on all my images, but I do enjoy it as a style tool. So I have it at, about 2 here. If you look up here in the details area of the specs on the camera, you'll notice that I am shooting at f2.8 at 2/50th of a second, or ISO 250, and 1/2500th of a second. I'm also shooting on my Mark III, which is the camera body I usually have my 70-200 in any long lens attached to it. So that's that photo. Let's move on to the next one. So we have this image of Jen. It's a nice portrait. And the first thing I noticed about this image is the catch light in her eyes, which I really enjoy. I did use a reflector to fill in the shadow side of her face, and it ended up giving us a really nice reflection. So this image I shot with the Mark IV ISO 125. I'm at f2.0 and I'm at 1/8,000th of a second. The lens I'm using is the 50mm 1.2, which I love for certain portraits. As you can tell, it really softens our background and it makes her stand out and pop. And it also gives us this incredible detail in her face and eyes where the focus is. So if we move over here to the adjustments, you can see I didn't do very much. I brought the highlights down, pulled up the shadows a little bit, added some saturation, some vibrance, a little bit of contrast, sharpening, not much. Actually, I might bring that down a little bit of noise reduction. That's sort of standard for me, but not much over 10 or 12 on the point scale. Again, removed the chromatic aberration, and I didn't add any vignetting. You know, this lens, this 50mm lens, has that natural quality already. And in some cases, I might even remove some of it. But I like how it looks in this image, so we're just gonna leave it as is. Great, and let's pick one more image here. So I love this image of her writing. It shows motion blur, and you know, her face and upper body is sharp still. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to make sure that something is sharp when I'm panning on subjects. I also love what's going on with the cloud detail behind her. It allows her to kind of fall into this space really well. We got really lucky with that clouds. Things I don't love, obviously this van over here is will have to be removed, and that's about it actually. I might do a few adjustments. As it stands now, let me show you the before and after. So this is the before, and there's the after. So I did warm it up a bit. It was an interesting cloudy to sunny morning. The weather couldn't quite figure out what it wanted to do. So I'd prefer this to look slightly warmer. I overexposed it, half a stop, brought the highlights down, increased the shadows, added a little bit of saturation and vibrance, some clarity, sharpening and noise reduction. I believe those are on auto, so I usually pull down the sharpening if I don't need it to be extra sharp. But since it's a motion blur image, I may add a little bit more sharpness to this. Other than that, it is what it is. For the sake of time, I'm not going to show you, but I would, before delivering this to the client, pull this into Photoshop and remove this van back here. Probably take me 5 to 10 minutes to get rid of it. Okay. And the last image we have in here is this great one of Jen at the end of the photo shoot. She's hanging out by her car and just kind of enjoying a moment. I happened to just go in and grab the camera and grab these last photos of her. So that was really fun. This image of Jen I really enjoy. It's a great moment that is not posed. I like the look on her face, the catch light in her eyes. Again, I used a reflector to add some more light and to add those catch lights. It's just a really nice moment. Great portrait, a bit serious. All in all, love it. Let me show you the before of this image. I'm using my keyboard to toggle a bit here and there. So there's the before and there's the after. So not a whole lot of change here. We had some great sunlight which added contrast, allowed more color to show up. All in all, it's a pretty good image as is. As you can see down here, it looks like maybe the top of her bars got put in. So maybe I'll go in and crop that out a tad. Perfect. Okay. So we are done editing. I have 5 nice images to share. Definitely we'd be sending the client more than 5 images, but we have only worked on these to save some time. Thank you for spending time with me and the new van. And if you see me around the port or around Long Beach, feel free to wave. And that's it. Thank you very much.